In the heart of the lush and vibrant village of Umu, there lived a young man named Caleb. He was the epitome of strength and good looks, with a tall, muscular frame, dark, smooth skin, and eyes that sparkled with kindness and intelligence. He was well known for his hard work and dedication to his family and community, always ready to lend a helping hand. Yet, despite all his admirable qualities, Caleb harbored a secret that had come to define his existence. Initially, he kept it to himself, thinking it was just a phase that would pass, but as he grew older, the reality of his situation became impossible to ignore. It all began when Caleb was a teenager. Like many boys his age, he started experiencing erections, but his were different. His manhood was abnormally large when a rectan attribute that quickly became a source of anxiety and confusion for him. Caleb's first intimate encounter with a woman ended poorly. The young lady, whom he had courted with great respect and admiration, was initially excited to be with him. However, when they tried to become intimate, it was clear that his size made entry impossible. The experience was painful and very upsetting for her, and she ran away in tears. Word of Caleb's difficult situation spread quickly through the village, and soon every woman knew about his unusual condition. Despite his good looks and hardworking nature, women began to steer clear of him. Mothers warned their daughters to stay away, and even the men in the village started keeping their distance, either out of sympathy or unease. Caleb felt the deep hurt of rejection. Each failed attempt at intimacy left him more isolated and heartbroken. Years went by, and Caleb watched as his friends married and started families. He remained alone, unable to find a woman willing to be with him, despite his many admirable qualities. His loneliness was a heavy burden, and he often spent long hours working in the fields or carving intricate wooden sculptures, trying to fill the emptiness left by his unmet desires for companionship and physical connection. Caleb's parents, saddened by their son's unusual condition, sought assistance from traditional healers and traveled to distant towns looking for a cure, but they found no success. The healers offered various herbs and potions, but nothing could change the reality of his condition. Despite the love and support of his family, he felt increasingly alone. One day, an elderly woman named Elder Elara, known for her wisdom and kindness, visited Caleb's family. She had heard of his situation and offered a different viewpoint. "Caleb," she said gently, "your condition is special, but it doesn't have to define who you are. You are a good man with a heart full of love. Don't let this difficulty overshadow the wonderful person you are." Afterwards, she said a prayer for him and gave her blessings to the young man. Elder Alara's words planted a seed of hope in Caleb's heart. He began to focus on his strengths and the things he enjoyed. He became more involved in community activities, using his skills to help others and finding happiness in his contributions. Gradually, he found inner peace, accepting that his life might not follow the same path as his friends. Years later, a new family moved into Umu. They brought with them a young woman named Liana who had experienced her own share of difficulties. She was beautiful and strong, with a spirit that had been strengthened by hardship. Liana and Caleb crossed paths during a community event, and she was immediately impressed by his kindness and resilience. Unlike the other women in the village, Liana did not judge Caleb based on the rumors she had heard. She saw the goodness in him and was drawn to his gentle nature. They spent time together, sharing stories and dreams. Caleb was careful at first, but Liana's understanding and acceptance slowly broke down the barriers he had built around his heart. Over the next few weeks, Liana and Caleb spent a lot of time together. They shared stories, laughed, and discovered a mutual respect and admiration. He found himself opening up to her in ways he had never done with anyone else. He confessed his deepest fears and his painful experiences. Liana listened with great care and without criticism. Liana was a woman of great compassion and wisdom. She suggested that they could explore ways to be intimate that did not require penetration, emphasizing that emotional connection and mutual pleasure were most important. With her guidance, Caleb began to understand that love and intimacy could take many forms. Their relationship developed into a deep and lasting love built on trust, respect, and understanding. The village of Umu was buzzing with the news of Caleb's newfound happiness. While some still secretly spoke about it, many others were inspired by their story. They saw that true love was about acceptance and finding joy in each other's company, regardless of physical limitations. In time, Caleb and Liana married in a beautiful ceremony that brought the entire village together. Their union was celebrated as proof of the power of love and acceptance. Although their journey had been full of challenges, they emerged stronger, bound by a love that overcame all difficulties. Caleb's life changed dramatically from that day forward. He found happiness and fulfillment with Liana, and their story became an example of hope for others facing their own struggles. The village learned a valuable lesson about compassion and the importance of looking past superficial judgments to see the true worth of a person. Caleb and Liana lived happily together, their bond growing deeper with each passing year. And though Caleb's manhood remained as it was, it no longer defined his life or his happiness. Instead, he was defined by his kindness, his hard work, and the love he shared with the remarkable woman who had seen him for who he truly was.